Hey, welcome to another edition of Working with Arrays Collections in 30 days. This is day 5, even though it says day 3 up here on the file, of going step by step of working with arrays and understanding how the methods that are used with the collections arrays actually work behind the scenes. So, just to recap, we started with just doing for loops, and then we started abstracting that to where we weren't focusing on the how and the what. Um, and so then we got into map, and now we're going to we took a step back so we could work on predicates. And so yesterday we worked on being able to take for each and then do a conditional check on whether or not that video should be pushed into this new videos array. Now, what we're going to see is that we can use the filter method that's on the array, and that lets us do exactly what I wrote here or typed here, is that it lets us express what data. And so we're back to the point where, like up here, we're actually having to go and step outside of the for each and actually put the data in this constant up here videos. So what we want to try to do is try to have it to where we can use the filter method and actually be able to get rid of all this and being able to just check and see with this filter on what we want. And so filter is going to remove the having us to do most of this work that's inside of this for each. So let's go ahead and refactor this and see how filter actually works. So the filter method actually takes in a predicate function, and I put it down here so you could read it. Is that so? What we have is let's see if it gets mad if I work with filter. So the function takes a predicate. Let's just shorten that a little bit. Cool. So here we have a filter, and it takes a predicate function, and then it does some work. So what we're going to do here is that we are going to actually for each so each of the items. Let me just write this out. So so remember that this is going to point towards the array, and so let's do this. Let's put an item in array. So in here, we're going to pop or drop. I guess we should say pop isn't the best word. We're going to go ahead and put this empty array right inside of here. So now filter is starting to do all the work for us. So what we have to do is that we have to do a check, because this predicate function is going to return a Boolean. And so just like we were doing up here, is that we were checking the ratings. So if we were to check the predicate function, and when we apply to the item in the array, so if that's going to return true, then that item is going to get pushed into that new array. Missing one closing there. Let's drop this. Drop this. We don't need that. And then let's return the results. So just to make sure that, let's go ahead and just name this filter 2. I guess it's not going to like that. I don't know why I wouldn't. Array filter example. Huh. Why can't we put this on? The prototype. We should be able to put it right on the array's prototype. Let's play around with this. Just get rid of that for now. Get rid of that for now. Get rid of that for now. So let's see what would happen if we took our new releases Why is this not gonna, it should be able to allow me to put it on there. Well, let's just continue to work here. What does it mean, predicate function? This thing is, sometimes I don't know about this. Nah, it's not gonna like it. Okay, never mind. All right, so let's stay with the filter here. Let's shorten this up. So now here we are going to take the predicate function and we want to check and see if it's 5.0. And so that's the What am I doing wrong here, folks? Here's that same thing as yesterday. What was it that I did yet? Let me check. I know I had this problem yesterday with the for each. Am I returning in the wrong place? Let me just write this out regular. Ah, huh. There I go again. Let me check something here. Let's just put this back to how I had it. Okay. So, as we said, is that the when the predicate function is applied to each item in the array, it's going to give us a false or true value, truthy value. So here I am stumbling a little bit, trying to just work on how filter works behind the scenes. So what we did here is we just did a filter, and then for the video, we console logged and checked to see. So if we look here, is that we have taken away this right here, and now we have an empty array inside of the filter function, and then we for each, just like we did here, over each item in the array, and then we do a check. And then we check and see if the predicate function, which is video, and we check the item in the array, yeah. So filter is our predicate function. We check against the item in the array, and then if the item in the array is truthy, then no, I don't think we did that right. There's something there because here I go again. That's why I do these videos, because I want to not only learn, yeah, that's wrong, but also, learn by doing examples. So if you get around to a point to where you're watching this, I appreciate any feedback that you want to put down in the comments. What is it here? I mean, I just don't get that. I mean, what if it's still going to give me the same thing. I was figuring, but you know what? That's just the thing about it is that it's. I mean, I got a feeling that it's not taking on. There we go. All right. So what I had to do is did this filter results is this results. So what we do is we filter and then we put any item in the array that is truthy into the results array. We return the results. So if we get true and true, which we did here for 5, rating of 5.0, then we return those results, which will be these two, and that would put those on here for the filtered results, and then we console log the filter results. Okay. So that's the learning that I am trying to do, and hopefully it helps you, is to not only understand like the description and the examples that like something like MDN might give you, or reading another blog, but it might not go behind the scenes and show to you how this method actually works. So here we're actually taking the predicate function, and then inside of the filter we got an empty array. We're going to for each over each item in the array, and then we're going to apply the item in the array to the predicate function to the item in the array, and if it's truthy, then we are going to push into the results array the item in the array. So it's got to pass this conditional, just like we did yesterday, where we did the check in the for each. So what we've done, what filter has done, is it has taken all this code and it has taken it, and literally it just is the same right inside this filter. So when you use filter, it's much more concise, and we're able to write less code, which we've talked about in the previous videos, to where the maintenance of the code is going to be simpler, mainly because you're not having to maintain all this logic, which you see up here. And the less code is, there's less possibilities of another developer accidentally putting something somewhere that could actually mess up the logic for the code. So by actually taking and abstracting it right inside of this filter method, then we're able to write just this less code, and then that gives us the same results. So that is the basis of today's video, is just taking a look and see how we're able to look inside of the filter method on the array and see how it's actually working. So it gives us a better idea of what is actually happening behind the scenes when you use the filter method. So it was a good learning experience for me. Like I said, is that I want to do these live without any scripts or any previous knowledge of this in real time, so I can fumble through it and you can actually see how I fumble through it, and then share any feedback that you want to. That would help me and others understand something about the code that might be helpful in anybody's learning experience. So I just want to share my learning experience with you, and that will allow for everybody to watch, anybody that's watching this, to see what is actually going on with the code, instead of just saying, okay, well, you know what, we're just going to use the filter method and write in the code and then just hope the code works. Because knowing how it works inside, behind the scenes, will make it to where you're able to be more confident in how you write the code. So that's it for today, and I'm going to take it a step further tomorrow, and we will continue on with working with arrays and collections, looking behind the scenes of the methods that are used on the array, on the prototype of the array, and continue to build on knowledge of how the array methods work. And also, we will just continue to advance into a point to where we're going to be actually transitioning to observables. So we're going to get to a point to where we're able to write confidently observables and using RxJS. So I'm going to be done here for today. And if you watch this, I appreciate it. And I also hope that if you find anything in my lesson here, that you'll share the feedback. I'm just going to continue doing videos, like I said, in real time, without me having pretty much seen any code, and just see how I can get it to work. So that's it, and I appreciate your time.